What message does it send for the United States to press allies to provide tanks to Ukraine when it won't do the same?
An unhelpful message, I think, at this point, Wolf. Look, there are understandable reasons for not wanting to give the M1 Abrams tank the U.S. main battle tank. It's much heavier than the others. It's a good 10 tons heavier than the Leopard 2, the German tank. It's much more difficult to maintain. It's a jet engine, basically a turbine, 1,500 horsepower turbine surrounded by armor. The spare parts and all the rest of that, the diagnostics are very, very challenging. That said, if giving 14 tanks, say an armored company's worth of tanks to Ukraine, allows the Germans to provide Leopard 2 and, as importantly, to approve the transfer of Leopard 2s that other countries have, Poland, the Baltic states, Finland, some others in NATO that have those, then I think it's very much worth it. And I think it's time to get on with this, frankly. This is another one of those pivotal moments in Ukraine. The battle lines have been pretty static. Russia has been making incremental gains at great cost, but they're on the offensive. We know that Ukraine, they've said that they are planning an offensive for the spring. If they're going to have competent and capable combined arms capabilities, so not just tanks, but also infantry fighting vehicles, artillery, mortars, air defense, engineer, close air support, et cetera, you've got to train for that. Some of that is ongoing right now at our training base in Germany. Tomorrow is the hugely important gathering of the coalition that comes together of NATO and Western countries to provide arms, ammunition, and assistance to Ukraine. I think it would send a very important message for us to say, look, if giving, again, 14 tanks of ours to free up the Leopard 2s that other countries want to give, Poland is eager to do that. And by the way, many of those will be replaced by the M1 Abrams tank ultimately. Let's get on with it. In addition to what are reportedly going to be very important other announcements by the U.S., which of course has done an incredible job of leading the world in providing staggering quantities of arms, ammunition, and material, over $24 billion just since the beginning of the invasion. And this seems to me to be a pretty modest increment in that. Yes, it's a strategic decision, but we should get on with this.
I know you've said, General Petraeus, that Putin still clearly believes Russia can win this war. What will it take to convince Putin that that's not possible?
Well, it's going to take a comprehensive effort, Wolf. Obviously, on the battlefield, where he's already lost probably 9 times more soldiers in 11 months than the USSR lost in nearly 10 years in Afghanistan. That has to continue tragically, terribly. But also, there have to be further efforts to tighten the financial, economic, and personal sanctions, and also the export controls, so that what Putin is trying to do, 2 days ago, he announced his plans to increase the size of the Russian military by 150 or 200,000 soldiers. There's another conscription drive expected, and he's trying to revive the military industries in Russia to provide the arms and ammunition for this expanded force as well. Again, he's got to be convinced that this is unsustainable on both the battlefield and on the home front, and that takes a lot of activities, comprehensive approach to do that. But above all, there has to be unwavering determination on the part not just of the courageous Ukrainians who have demonstrated that in spades, but also among the Europeans and the Americans.
Retired General David Petraeus, thanks as usual for joining us. We appreciate it very, very much.